When I joined the church many years ago, I don't even want to say how many years ago, I was a very young man. I was 19 years old. And just a few weeks later, not even a week, I was called to be the clerk in the ward. Then I have a great bishop. My bishop one day invited me to go into his office. And he invited me to go on a mission. I said, Bishop, I cannot go on a mission. You know, it has been very difficult for my family that I join another church. Now, if I tell my mother that I'm going to quit the school and go on a mission, that's going to be very difficult for them. Then my bishop said, well, I understand, but you need to pray about it. And I say, oh yes, no problem, I'll pray about it. So I went in my prayers, and I remember praying something like, Heavenly Father, I know I need to go on a mission, but I know you understand that I cannot go. So we're even, okay? No more. So obviously, I didn't feel right with that type of prayer. I changed my prayer, and suddenly I had this very strong feeling that I needed to go, that I needed to serve. I went back to my bishop and said, Bishop, I'm going to go. He got all excited. He even opened one of his drawers in the desk, and he got the application, the missionary application, and we start working on it. Then when we get to the financial part of who was going to support me for my mission, he asked me, how much money do you have? And then I really laughed. He said, Bishop, I just joined the church a few months ago. I don't have any money. I never planned on going on a mission. And then he said, what about your parents? And then I really laughed. And I said, Bishop, they don't want me to go. They will never support me. And he said, well, just ask him. So I went home. I waited for a moment when my father was alone. I didn't want my mother around. I knew her very well. So I talked to my father. And I said, Dad, you know this mission that I'm going to go? And he said, yeah. They were very upset about it. And then I said, well, we need to pay for it. And he said, what? What do you mean? They're not going even to pay you for doing it? I said, no. And then I explained to him that in the church, missionaries will pay for their own mission, and their families will pay for it. And then my father stopped for a minute, and then he thought about it, and he asked me, how much is it? And I give you the figure. And these were the years when missionaries would pay 100% of their mission. And then he thought, and he said, well, I'll pay 50% of it. I give you half of the money. And I said, okay, could you please sign here very quickly? This is what you need to find. And I was very sure that my mother wasn't around. And brothers and sisters, I can tell you that because of their support, they received plenty of blessings. They were prosperous. They have enough and to spare, even after I went on my mission.